Hello, hello, hello. Happy Thursday, y'all. And welcome to Bankroll Your Bridge Thursdays. I'm Nicole Roberts-Jones, the Bankroll Your Bridge expert. Always excited to hold the space for you as we come here every week at 12 p.m. EST to do one of three things. Number one, to talk about what is your brilliance, your purpose, the one thing God has created you to do and or be in this world. The second is the value tied to it. I think so many of us overlook that second part. And then the third is how do you create multiple streams of income from it? So every week I bring you experts in one of those three. And then there's some weeks that I just pour into you training and insight. Now, before I tell you about our phenomenal guest this week, y'all know how I do, especially those of you that are here week after week. You know what I'm getting ready to say. Don't come in this house and I speak. That's what my grandmother would say. This is virtual house. So at least say hello, tell us where you're from. If while our guest for the week shares, if you have questions, thoughts, comments, listen, we're here for you. So we want to hear from you throughout this episode, okay? So let's get this party started for this week. Our conversation for today is maximize your life, becoming aware of your worth. Now, don't take for granted that you already know your worth. Oh, I can tell you about mine. And I'm going to tell you a time when I didn't know my worth, when I was already playing really, really big. But you got to know what happens in this thing called life is we grow on levels and live on stages. So whereas you might know your worth on this stage, when God calls you to this stage, it's about expanding who you be. That's the conversation that we're having today. So let me welcome our guest, Miss Cheryl Williamson. Now, she's a nationally acclaimed, award-winning, best-selling author, an award-winning filmmaker, an executive producer, a transformational speaker, and go on and on. And she's also a success coach. Cheryl Williamson is a global leader known for her connecting others to their purpose. Owner and editor-in-chief of Cheryl Magazine. She is also the founder and CEO of Williamson Media Group and Cheryl P. Williamson. LLC. I mess up her P name. Look, her maiden name. We laugh at that. She is a highly sought after influencer and business leader who is also founder and CEO of Soul Reborn, a highly recognized award-winning 501c3 nonprofit that has served thousands of people around the conversation we're having today. So help me welcome it should be Dr. Cheryl to this conversation. Hey, girl.
Hey, girl. How are you? I am so excited to be here. And I want to go ahead and give you a hand clap and celebrate you before we even get started, because I think that's so important that we celebrate, congratulate, and elevate each other. So
yes.
To you, my sister.
Which is why I'm always excited to be with you, around you, watch you on social media, every now and then get to be in the same space with you because, you really are about holding people's space to, and I always say this, y'all, not for who you already are, for who you have not yet become. So those of you that already think you're powerful, we want to celebrate you, but there's another level present in you. And so that's who we're coming for today as we have this conversation. So with that, let's talk about this whole notion of worth. When we look at what it is and how we really begin to become aware of it, what would be the first thing you would tell a woman and a man, because there's some fellas that watch us too, they should look into when they're really looking at their worth?
They should get to the point where they see beyond where they are. I hear people say, oh, I want to be a millionaire. Hang out with billionaires. Even if you want to be a millionaire, hang out with billionaires. The thought process is different. And when you begin to do that, you'll start seeing yourself in that arena, in that platform. So we always want to place ourselves in a position where we're learning, doing, and being our very best.
That's so good. What's interesting is I was just having this conversation. So I'm from South Central LA. And when God started conjuring up this next level for me, nobody around me had ever had a multiple 6-figure, 7-figure business. And for me to have that in my spirit, I didn't know what to do, number one. Number two, you've got to realize your bankroll zip code affects you. So if I'm saying stuff like I'm a rob Peter to pay Paul, how many of y'all said this in your household? Or money doesn't grow on trees, or I'm broke, then I'm going to stay in that place. And so I love that you said, if you want to be a millionaire, you need to hang out with billionaires because their thought process is different.
Absolutely.
So good. So, what are some options that you recommend to really help people get into this space of upper leveling? She gave us one, I didn't realize that already, which is to shift who you have around you. Really look at what's that saying? If you are the smartest person around you, there's already a problem.
Absolutely, absolutely. One of the many things we need to do is I began to visualize myself in those spaces and places. I
Mm,
film experience, but I saw myself being a filmmaker and an executive producer. I wrote it out. I visualized it. I started seeing myself accepting awards on stage. And
mm,
we have to see it before we see it. That's
mm,
another point. See it before you see it. You can't talk yourself out of the award and the destiny and the purpose. It's all in your words. The second thing, you need to have your mindset as your superpower. So when you say to yourself, I attract wealthy donors to the vision that God has given me, I receive multi-million dollar ideas, I receive preferential treatment. To those who are listening to us, Nicole, their mindset has to be in a place where they can receive their destiny and their purpose because they already see it.
mm.
The next thing is you have to be ready and stop getting ready.
Whew.
You have to be ready and stop getting ready. To me, there is nothing worse than somebody asking me to bring them to the table. And then when I get you to the table, you're not prepared to eat. What does that mean? No business card, no business bank account, no website, no products, and no way to explain in a few seconds exactly what you do. See, you have to be ready, not getting ready.
Hmm. And there's never going to be a right time. I
No,
think so many of us think, well, I'm not ready yet because it's not the right time. Like that, people say excuse to me like this all the time. I'm sure they say it's to you too, Cheryl. I'm gonna wait till my kids graduate from high school, or I'm gonna lose weight first. And you're not teaching weight loss, so why do you need to lose weight? Or all the excuses that you can come up with as to why now's not your time. But it'll never be a perfect time. So I love that you said you have to be ready. And here's what I know: oftentimes God's gonna put you in an arena where you don't feel like you're ready, but if you activate yourself and you just let yourself just start moving, it just I've had times when stuff drops in my spirit. I'm like, okay, Lord, I don't know what I'm going to say, but this person just asked me a question, or I'm in a room full of billionaires, and I feel like, okay, the smallness in me, because we all got a little piece of small, says, ooh, and I have to say, nope, God did this. So let me trust the
yes,
me that he made me to be and just say whatever comes to my mind. And I'm sharing that because I remember the first time this happened. This is us. I'm from LA, y'all. So I still lived in LA. The speaker of the state of California had created this new program called Healthy Families, which was no cost, low cost health insurance, and nobody was signing up for it though. So this would help the mother who say she worked a full-time job, but her job didn't give her benefits for whatever reason, or the mother who had multiple children and needed better benefits.
yes,
So it sounds perfect, but nobody signed up for it. So listen, he called the who's who of LA business to the table, and I got invited. So I was like, did they put my name on the list for on an accident? Is how I felt at first. But I said, okay, Nicole, there's a reason you're going. I had to keep talking myself into
yes.
it because I realized if God didn't want me in that room, I wouldn't have got the invitation. So I had to talk
Amen.
myself into it. Then
Yes,
we get in the room, Cheryl, and when you said this, it reminded me of this. We get in the room, and his chief of staff makes a whole presentation about the program. And then he says, are there any questions? And everybody's silent. So I raised my hand real slow.
yes,
I was like, oh, how come I'm the only one getting ready to say something? I said, did you say that you go between 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. to the shopping mall? So if I have a full-time job, why am I shopping from 10 to 2 Monday through Friday? That's an issue by itself. And I was like, did I just say that out loud? So I'm
yes,
sharing that with you because I had to trust myself. And literally, the recommendations that I made after that changed the program. They had an 85% increase in enrollment. But I'm not saying that to brag. I'm saying that because I want you guys to see that God is going to put you in places. What's the Bible verse? Exceedingly abundantly above all you
yes.
can ask or think. Ephesians 3:20. Those of you that want to look that up, somebody write that in the chat for me. Ephesians 3:20. If he's going to do something bigger than what you can think or ask, then it's going to be scary. You're going to feel like, oh my God, do I know what I'm doing? It's going to be all those things, but you got to shift and trust the God in you, empower yourself up to it. Love the three strategies you gave. It reminded me of them.
Absolutely. We have to place ourselves. I can say for me personally, I always place myself in uncomfortable situations because I'm not growing if I'm comfortable. And what I mean by that is I enter the room like I'm supposed to be in the room. I go to events where I may be the only person in the room that does not have experience in that field. But this I know, every time I have ever placed myself in an uncomfortable situation, I have been blessed because of it. My business has prospered. My ability to create tables to bring other women along, that is
Mm.
it because I said yes to being uncomfortable. And Nicole, what we have to do in order to help people bankroll their brilliance is to let them know to accept their brilliance, accept where you are so that you can move to where you want to be.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
have to do that.
Yep. And then accept it, but know that that's not it for you too. I think so many of us get complacent. Like,
Yeah.
okay, well, I have the job I always wanted. I'm making the income I always wanted, but yet you hate getting up in the morning. Or you feel like your life doesn't have the meaning, or you feel like there's this other thing you want to do, but you feel guilty because you've had this level of success. And
Yes.
my aunt said to me once when I felt like that, she said, don't limit God's ability to bless you. You feel like that because He has more for you.
Yes.
And so I love, those of you that don't follow Cheryl, allergies are acting up today. Those of you that don't follow Cheryl, I want to encourage you to follow her in social media because you will see her growth and becoming this executive producer. We're sorority sisters. She's right now at the convention for my sorority. And I'm gonna say this and mind you, we are part of the first African American sorority, Alpha Kappa Alpha. Those of you that don't know this, and I'm
Yeah.
not saying this because I love deltas and sigmas and sigma gamma rho is the same, but well, not exactly the same. But you know what I'm saying. It's not. There's no judgment. But what I am saying is this: our sorority is the oldest Black sorority. So that means we had hundreds of years of history. Well,
Yes.
this woman was one of the executive producers of our story. So not
Yeah.
only did you produce a movie, come on, somebody, it's a historic
Yes.
movie.
Yeah.
So it has such a huge impact. So she's not playing small. I want you guys to get this. So as she's talking to you, she's giving you nuggets from a woman that has experience sitting in rooms. And mind you, I think maybe that was your second movie. No, you
Yeah.
produced a and then a movie, right?
Yes, that was the second one, but on this one, we actually won the HBO Max Award for this film. We screened in Martha's Vineyard. This film actually opened, and I'm going to tie it to our discussion because I'm not willing to play small. I'm not willing to let anybody tell me what I can't have, never have. It won't happen for me because I don't have experience. That film now has led to me doing the Links documentary, The Invitation, which is now about to be screened at Martha's Vineyard as well, that just filmed in the Diversity in Cannes Film Festival. And so I'm saying this, as Nicole said, we're not saying this to brag. We're saying this to you as factual. We're saying this to let you know what's possible when you dream big, when you don't allow people, places, and things that are not even tied to your destiny
Come
talk
on.
you out of your future. You have to get to the place where you believe in you enough to do it when there's no money in the bank. Do it when you don't have all the answers. Do it when it's a test product, because that's where everybody starts. It's a
Mhm.
testing ground. We don't all start out brilliant. We start out where we are. The key is, and Nicole and I both agree on this, the key is to start. If you never start, you don't know that you could be worth $10 million at the end
Right.
of the year.
Right.
You have to begin where you are. As Nicole said, no conditions will ever be perfect. You won't always begin with the right certifications. You won't have the $10,000 in the bank that you think that you need to get started. Think about the people that started with $250 or $500 and
Right.
now they're multimillionaires. Look at Tyler Perry.
I was just getting ready to say Tyler. Right.
Look at Tyler Perry that put on a play that nobody attended, and now he's a billionaire.
Hmm.
And I'm saying that to say to someone that Nicole and I, we believe in you. That's why we're on here right now telling you that you have the ability to bankroll your brilliance. When you take what's in your head and what you think about yourself, you can capitalize just on that.
Yes, so good, so good. Even Tyler Perry is an example, y'all. I love how he tells the story. He produced his first play, bombed. He did it a second time. I think he did it like 5 times, y'all. But he
Yes,
was
he did.
living in a car. Okay,
Yes.
and so I want you to, I'm not saying you got to live in a car because by God, I'm not asking to live in a car either. But what I am saying is this: when you have something inside you, again, faith, well, not again, I said this on the podcast earlier. Hebrews 11:1 is faith is the substance of things hoped for, the
Yes.
evidence of things not seen.
Mhm.
So there was a hope in Tyler. The same
Yes.
hope that's in each of us. All God gives all of us a hope in the future. So if you have this hope in you, you can't wait for the perfect time. And so what's interesting is as you were saying that, and I was thinking about Tyler Perry, the second thing that came to my mind is I was on a live like this, Cheryl, once, and this woman was saying to me, I was inviting her to come to an event, and she was like, well, I'm gonna pray about it. Now, obviously, I know I'm a God's girl. So it bothered me that she said she's going to pray about it. So I was like, why does that bother me? So I prayed about the fact that that bothered me. Okay. Y'all with me? So she said she's
Yeah.
going to pray about it. So I prayed about it because I was bothered by that. Here's what God said back to me. He said, and I quote, she's waiting on me and I am waiting on her. God's going to drop the idea in you. Like
Yeah.
God dropped the desire in Cheryl to be an executive producer. So what she is a living, breathing example. When you follow that seed that got planted in you and you're unapologetic. I don't care what it looks like. I don't care if people around you think you're crazy. Okay, think I'm crazy, but you're going to then be one to sit in the front row when I'm doing my movie, right? So I want you guys to get this. It's nobody's business but you and God.
And
And
that,
go ahead.
no, I
Mhm.
was going to say that is so true. And most people don't realize when you're a visionary, everybody is not going to understand your vision, nor is it your responsibility to sit down and explain to everybody what you have been called and purposed to do.
Yeah.
Because you are wasting extremely valuable time explaining things to people who would never get on board. That's why you have to have the Noah effect as you build your platform, your brand, your business. What is the Noah effect? Where you keep building the ark, bringing the supplies, the animals, everything that you're supposed to do. You don't look to the left or the right. You just keep building that thing that you know that you're supposed to be doing. If
Mhm.
Noah stopped to explain to everybody, he, the animals, and everybody would have drowned when the storm came because they were slowing down to explain a vision that God placed in him. He didn't place it in the people on the shore. That's why it was people on the shore. He didn't tell them to explain. So you have to develop that in your business where you stop explaining everything to people and just move. They're not going to get it. And
Mhm.
Nicole, I so agree with you when we talk about everybody is not supposed to be a part of whatever it is that you're building. Some people are made just for the audience, and some people don't even need to be in the auditorium. And for the people who are connected to you, who want to be on stage, that don't want to help build the stage, those are the people who don't need to be a part of the production. And you have to be good with that. You can smile and keep it moving.
Mhm. Because she's dropping so many nuggets. Look, I'm trying to make you guys see me up here rocking, right? So I want you to get this. This is all connected to your worth. Because the other thing is people will try to talk you out of it. And if you're
Ooh,
not careful, some of my absolute best friends, when I first started in this in 1993, I was 23 years old and I had never, like, I worked in entertainment. I had never started a business. I had never done any of this stuff. Did I know what I was doing? Heck to the no. But what I was clear on is, God, you give me the direction. I'm going to do this piece. And I hope to God, in the middle of this one, you're going to tell me what to do next because I don't know. And I just kept moving, kept moving, kept moving. And I want you guys to understand people around me were calling me crazy. But as Oprah said, I want people to ride on the bus, the broke down bus, instead of
yes,
trying to get in a limo. And I'm probably messing that up. But now people are like wanting to be around me. The people that talked about me back in the day. No
yes.
judgment, but they proved to me they didn't need a front row seat. Not because they just I can't you can't allow poison to come in the middle of your vision because you're already second guessing yourself. I'm gonna keep it all the way real in the first place. So I don't need to help
Absolutely.
you with that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So if we are already second guessing ourselves, we certainly don't need five more people along with us saying, oh, I knew it wasn't going to work. Oh, you shouldn't have done it like that. Oh, so and so, they failed. They can tell you everybody who failed, but can't bring you two people who succeeded. And
Come
you have
on.
to be careful. You have to be really careful with that. And I love where you talk about knowing your worth, because so many people talk ourselves out of big deals because we don't know our worth.
Yeah.
So a piece of advice that I want to give right now is, when you place that piece of paper across the table with $10,000 or $25,000 on it to speak for 1 hour, just go ahead and place it across the table, cross your legs underneath the table, and sit back. Don't say anything. You have to be as comfortable with the silence as they are with giving it. So many of us, we talk ourselves out of that $25,000 check
Woo.
because we get uncomfortable thinking that the person that we asked the $25,000 from is going to say no. So then we start negotiating down, not knowing that they just paid somebody else $25,000 to do the same thing. So for everybody who's listening, if you don't remember anything else I say to you today, when you know your worth, be quiet. Tell people this is what it costs, and be quiet. And for those who tell you, oh, I could get Lisa to do it for $500, please send them to Lisa.
Because they don't want the quality that you about to bring.
Exactly. And that's what, and I don't have, and you have to be unapologetic and not feel some type of way
Right.
when you tell people, oh no, I'm not $500. And I've had people say that.
Yeah.
Oh, but just like Nicole said, when I first started, I was $50 for people to consult with me.
Mhm.
Now it's $375 an hour. And I
Mhm.
don't bother, oh, go see my resume. If you called me, then you know what I'm capable of. I don't even do a 15-minute consult, because if you called me, somebody has already told you about me. So
Mhm.
I'm not doing a 15-minute consult. I'm not going down on the price. I know my worth, and
Yeah.
they know your worth too. That's why they're calling you. So get comfortable asking for what you're worth, not what people can afford.
And I love every time you say something, it reminds me of something I've been through. And I'm giving you guys these examples because I want you to see she's giving you nuggets, but I'm gonna give you a living, breathing example. So what you just said, literally, with the first coach I hired, word for word is what she said. And because listen, before that coach, I was broke in my business, okay? And I was going for free, calling it my ministry, thinking I'll
Yeah.
pay myself to get there, I'll pay for my hotel. And so my coach coached me out of that. And the very first place that called me after that was a church. I'm like, for real, Lord, why you got to have a church call me first?
Yes.
So the first lady said, what's your speaking fee? I said the number and I hushed.
Yes.
And she said, okay, do you like the Hilton or do you prefer the Embassy Suites? What airline is your preferred airline? I'm like, what? So
Yes.
of course I get all that. I hung up. Then I said, Lord, and here's what God said back to me. Service and struggle should never coexist. Why would I
No.
give you a gift and want you to struggle to do it? So if God wants us to live abundantly above all, you've got to have that abundantly above all mentality and know your worth, because I want you guys to get this. The profit you make, profit means gain. So
Yes.
I make more money, the more money I can do in the world, which means I'm bringing the kingdom forth. So all
Yes.
the great things that Cheryl's able to do now because she's making more profit. It's not material gain. Now, look, don't mean you don't bless yourself every now and then and treat yourself.
Absolutely.
Because
Absolutely.
even look, even when you got a good report card, then your mother, your grandmother, your auntie, somebody give you a reward. Well, why would your heavenly father not want to give you a reward? I'm just saying.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we have to do that.
And so, listen, because we can keep talking. So, I want us to close, and she's given so many nuggets. I'm going to put up her website. So, one, I know that you have some tips you can give to do some. There's all kind of things she can give y'all, but I think the biggest, best thing is for you guys to go to her website. Tell them about the 30-day uh,
Affirmations.
affirmation. Right.
So everyone who is on listening to Nicole and myself, I want to invite you right now to go to CherylPWilliamson.com. And there I have 30 days of affirmations. The reason that I chose to do that is because that's how I live my life. That is the first thing that I do in the morning. As a person, as a business owner, I affirm myself. I tell myself I receive preferential treatment. I attract wealthy donors to the vision that God has given me. I receive God inspired ideas that produce millions of dollars.
Right.
So I'm sharing that with you because I want you to know that your mindset is your superpower. Your
Mm,
mindset will have you in rooms that you don't know about. Your mindset will have you a part of deals that you can only just even dream about. But it all starts up here. So please go to my website, get your 30 days of affirmations for absolutely free, print them out, place them up, and then send me an email and let me know when you started the affirmations and what has transpired in your life since you started this affirmations journey. And invite your kids on the same journey, because when you speak life over yourself, over your children, over your family, everybody prospers. And I mean in more than money. We prosper in opportunities, we
yes.
prosper in health, we prosper in celebrations. It all starts in our mind. It all
Hmm.
starts. So see yourself as a winner. See yourself as worthy. See yourself as blessed. See yourself living that abundant life that Nicole just spoke about. Because this is the thing, if you believe that abundance is for everyone, you won't waste your time to take what does not belong to you.
Whew. Come on, girl, drop that mic. So, with that, thank you for all that you do. Thank you for your commitment that we all understand that it's all available to us. All we've got to do is get in alignment with all that we desire. Thank you for your gift of the book of affirmations. Again, Cheryl P. Williamson, you see it there on your screen.com. Go there, you'll see it on her website. Grab it, it's free, and do the work. And then let Cheryl know what has transpired because of the work. Because ultimately, when you give your testimony, someone else, listen, you can't even write testimony unless you write test first. So we know you're going through
Yes.
some things. So then you want to tell people what happened on the other side so that other people will see what's possible in the work that you've done. So thank you, Cheryl, for showing us what's possible in all the work you do and for coming here today to bless us. Appreciate
Thank
you, girl.
you.
So with that, y'all, that's another episode of Bankroll Your Breeze Thursdays. Like I say every week, number one, I want to know the value you got out of today. So post below. Y'all were silent, so she was going in. You must have been writing notes like I was. I got 2 pages of notes. Number one. Number two, again, share your value. Number two, if you got value, which I know you did, I want you to click below and share. Whether you're watching this live or you're watching the replay, you don't know who in your arena, in your tribe, will also be blessed by the insight that Cheryl shared today. So, with that, I want to thank you for joining me for another episode of Bankroll Your Breeze Thursdays. I don't take for granted that you let me into your life, into your business, into your world for this 30-minute segment every Thursday. So, I want to thank you. Thank you for letting us pour into you. Thank you for letting us be a blessing to you. If there's ever any arena that you want to be served in, listen, that's my Instagram channel at in Roberts Jones is where you find me on Instagram. Send me an inbox message on Instagram. If there's any area that you know you need support in, whether it's understanding what your brilliance is, whether it's your worth, whether it's creating multiple streams of income from it, I want to know. And you never know if future episodes of Bankroll Your Brains Thursdays may be because you sent me that inbox message. So again, you follow me on Instagram. By the way, you get tools and strategies all week long, besides a segment on my Instagram channel, which is at in Roberts Jones on Instagram. All right. So with that said, again, thank you. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for allowing me into the sacred space into your week every week. So until next Thursday, I look forward to pouring more into you and our weekly time together called Bankroll Your Brains Thursdays. Bye, y'all.